Okay. Yeah, boy. Alright, I made a song called Old Friend New Face. I think this is such a fun song. This is so like 2005. I mean, I wouldn't really know because I was 5 years old. You know what? I did know a lot when I was 5. This is so 2005. Indie rock meets indie pop. Next thing you know, the Ting Tings are coming around the corner in a couple years. That's Not My Name. We've got MGMT going on, obviously. And things are starting to feel indie, was my reference on this song. I feel like one of the main things for that era of music, I don't know what it would be like, MySpace, is they put like bells and glockenspiel under everything, like this type of thing. Everywhere, dude. I feel like that is under everything. You know? And the synth for this song too is like MGMT Kids. This is the closest thing that I could get to it. I recorded it on a Korg MS-2000. It's right there. It's basically like a big full-sized, same brain, but like full-size keys of a Korg Micro Korg, which is like all over a bunch of indie records and stuff. Like the Killers use one and they still use it live, which I think is really cool. I don't know how they can manage to play it live, because if I were to play a Micro Korg live, it would sound like bad because the keys are so small. Anyways, yeah, this is like a Korg MS-2000 sound that I'd found this person on YouTube that made like a bunch of packs and presets of like indie sounds, and it's like the kids sound under it. So it definitely feels like what I was going for. And then it's layered with this Mellotron lead, which is a similar-ish sound. It's just like a really distorted organ and flute. Yeah. I guess I went ahead and just dove into this one. I usually have some intro, but that's the synths that are going on, layered with the bells every once in a while to emphasize it. And on the choruses, like, that's just such like a catchy hook. I layered it with guitar as well. Same rhythm on the synth bass, which was also on the MS-2000. That's just more like a saw wave bass. Think like, you know, Phoenix 1901 type bass. With a little bit of a phase on it. No, just straight up. Yeah, that's all the synths that are going on. I feel like this song, like compared to the other songs in the self-titled record, this is the most like synth poppy. And it's just like the most Dayglow song in the world to me. I feel like if I heard this song, like when I was making Fuzzy Brain, if this song existed, this would have been the archetype of what I was trying to make. Like this feels like the most true to myself, Kindred Days, if you know what I'm talking about, Kindred Days like song. And I'm surprised, like, I don't know, I feel like nobody really knows about it. At least not yet, at least not yet. But yeah, those are the synth parts. And there's like a Farfisa organ that comes in every once in a while. That's just playing like the root chords. Yeah, and everything's just like really straight, like dry. I'm not like throwing any delays on anything. I think there's some vocal delay throws and that I can go over later. Yeah, those are the synth things. I feel like that really drives the song. It's like an old friend with a new face. Like the bell is really cut in there, you know? When you saw it in the first place. So like, I feel like this is just the era of music where like people were still embarrassing on social media and they didn't really think about it. Like before cringe, and iFunny was just like thriving. And how would I know about this? I was like 7, but that's what it feels like to me. It's just like cringe and free, but also cool. But yeah, those are the synths. Let's check out the drums, because I feel like the drums sound really good on the song. So everything's MIDI. Really driving. Yeah, I thought this was fun in the verses. It like is this trade-off moment between a hat and a tom. That same white kit that I really use, I think, for the whole record, but kind of in like Phoenix fashion, I did program a lot of the drums. So here's like this kick, which is just, you know, 4 on the floor, driving the whole song basically. And then every other 1, 3, 1, 3, I have that kick to like emphasize between the snares. So that's what it would be like if you're going like a normal kick snare pattern. But I feel like Passion Pit type music just keeps the kick going. So like there's both going on, where it's kick snare but also kick and kick snare. Keeps energy high. It's layered with this snare, and all this is like unprocessed, just, you know, volume. So there's like a real sounding snare, this pretty programmed one that's alternating sounds, and then at the end of every loop I add that big snare, and in the choruses I add it more. Claps. Hi-hat. Which is like a real live loop. So yeah, like really Phoenix sounding drums, I think, on this song, where it's like real, but quantized just perfectly, of keeping things just like on the grid. Crash with a ping pong delay. Programmed ride, which I think is also cool sound, like Daft Punky almost, to like loop a ride, where it's like so clearly programmed, where like I didn't do it, but what you could do is like add a side chain that just feels so like, you know, now we're getting to like the dare territory. Say if we wanted to do that, we would go in here and then freaking, well, where's a drive? Drugs! Girls and drugs! Yeah! There's like a breakdown before each chorus. It's like that whole snare roll. I got my small yet beautiful and mighty wife to count in the 1, 2, 3, which I had a very vivid image of like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, their Sex Bombs like band. The drummer in that, the girl drummer, is just so cool to me, and I wanted Reagan, the song, to feel like Reagan is that in context to this song. So like girl drummer, I envision this song being a girl drummer. So on the count in,
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Which she just flawlessly did on one take, and she didn't know what it was for. I just asked her to count to 3, and she did it. Here's a woo, some rototoms right into it. Yeah. And then every once in a while I've got this like 16th tambourine going on. Now the other choruses, yeah, it'll start on like an 8th note and then go into 16th. I need to take that kick start off. Just keeps the whole thing feeling like this ball rolling down a hill momentum. Because the song is like, it's a super short punch. How long is it? How do I even see that? Wait, speed? No. Oh, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So yeah, there's the drums. Oh yeah, and then the drum bus. I added a little bit of room to make it sound like it's coming from a room. I did some tape, saturation, some distortion, more distortion. And then ozone impact? I don't know, I guess to add impact. Never used that before. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, but it sounds cool. I feel like this type of song, it'd be easy to just not think about the bass, but I wanted it to feel groovy still and like intentional. I feel like there's a lot of melodic stuff going on, like geez, the bass sounds really good on the song. Yeah, recorded on like a Fender Mustang, DI to Logic, through this preamp, bass amp, compressor, harmonic, just straight dry, distorted bass. Decapitator's like a really good bass distortion plugin. I think I watched a video once that was like Tame Impala uses it, or how to achieve Tame Impala sounding bass, which who hasn't Googled that before? Took out a little bit of the low end to make sure it stood out here. I mean, a good EQing trick sometimes, rather than adding, is to remove. You know, like you think of Dave, like the sculpture of David or whatever, it was made out of a block of stone, and you want to carve away rather than add. And with EQing, I feel like that's a really good school of thought, where if you want something to shine, don't add it, remove it, and then that will help the other things balance out. With the bass, I was like, I want the mids to be higher, but rather than boosting it here, I cut it out here in the lows, and then it just naturally makes it tilt a little bit. And then an exciter, I guess, for like the high end, which is just Logic's stock one, and that really helped. And I never think to do that, but I did on this song. Yeah, layered with this synth bass. And I feel like that's good on songs like False Direction. I have like two bass lines. There's like the synth bass line, and then there's like the guitar bass line. And I like when songs have two different things going on. The synth bass is like mimicking the lead line. But if there was no driving bass on the 8th, it just sounds so different. Like it still sounds good, but there's like a fullness that's missing. That's like, it feels like there's like room going on, and it's like a rock song. Just the subtlety of like adding both. But if the synth bass was missing, it's like there's like a danciness that I'm missing. Well, both are going together. It's like Ratatouille, you know? Just colorful flavor explosion. So yeah, these guitars, I wanted it to sound like straight up 8th note strumming, like really Phoenix style, like French guitars. British console. I'm sure I probably moved this around and adjusted some stuff, made it feel like a double. And I think with this type of song where it feels really processed and quantized to the grid, like doing 2 takes would be counterintuitive, because then you just have to like, you know, time it all up, and you want it to sound really tight. And I've found that the best way to do that is to like emulate a double rather than do a double, especially if you're gonna quantize it. But yeah, simple guitars, no processing, just amped guitar is the idea. With some like reverb naturally coming from the amp. feels very like Strokes. Lead guitar really blends in with the synth lead. On the choruses, on the second half of the choruses, like I wanted the song to feel like there's like the first half and then the second half, and the second half is even bigger. And then the last chorus is like the biggest. What I did is like, it's doing this lead, you know? It's also like very, this lead line's very like rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat-tat? Yeah, 8-bit fuzz was the goal. Sounds really synthy. But the second half, octave up comes up. And it's literally just the same exact take, duplicated it and then transposed it over here. And then on the last one, the last chorus, the big last chorus, I do another octave up higher, so 24. Wait, no I didn't. I just doubled it. So it's more emphasized, I guess? I don't know. And then I add like church bells and stuff. Which sounds kind of bad on its own, but in context, just adds like this impact, like, you know, this Harry Styles moment. Like it's so easy to visualize confetti going on. Hit. Just sounds like confetti, you know? Yeah, dude. All right, so let's check out the vocals and then it'll be good. So I've got a lead vocal, chorus vocal, meaning for the choruses, a bridge vocal, some doubles, which are actually doubles, harmony, which are actually doubles as well, and then a vocal down take, and then outro ad-libs maybe. Lead vocals just chopped up. I recorded it on a Rode NT1, which is in this closet. That's what I recorded Fuzzy Brain on. It's like a $300 mic that sounds awesome. Pretty sure Billie Eilish used it or something, which is why I got it. Our voices don't sound similar, but I was like, that's a famous person. So yeah, here's the lead vocals, NT1. All right. Try to make it feel like really Fuzzy Brain, so here's dry. It's gonna be this time. Preamp. Something preposterous. Noise gate. And I'm recording it in this room too, so like you can hear some of the music going on in the background, but it doesn't matter once you mix it. I get the feeling it's happening. It's gonna be this time. Good saturated like compressor. Some more drive, de-esser. I get the feeling it's happening. EQ. It's gonna be another EQ. Time. Something preposterous. Yeah, and then these effects is the exact same chain that I used on Fuzzy Brain, or like these two, and like the Fuzzy Brain vocal is these two together, which is like a little bit of an overdrive and compressor kind of, in this slapback delay. I get the feeling it's happening. I mean, without it. It's gonna be this time. Something preposterous. Yeah, that's like the Fuzzy Brain sound. But yeah, the doubles pretty much process the same way, just a little bit less stuff. And with doubles, I try not to tune them as much and like time them as much. It just feels more like natural and loose when it's all together. Alright. But super subtle. I get the feeling it's happening. It's gonna be this time. Something. And then a vocal. And it gets so wild. But it doesn't really matter like once you throw it all together, like the vocal down thing, like octave down, is just like a trick really, that it makes it sound more full. And then I have a vocal effects chain, so like just for wet effects that I threw, I think just in the chorus, yeah. Always and always. So make it sound a little bit bigger. That doesn't mean it won't be strange, like an old friend. Some harmonies. With the new face, it's hard to unsee it when you saw it in the first place. Wow. I didn't clean those up very much. But you know what, man? There's things that matter and there's things that don't, and that's one of those. I don't think that matters, at least not that much. Harmonies don't have to be perfect. Harmonies do not have to be perfect, and it makes it sound more real, because nobody's perfect. Don't we know that by now? Yeah. So let's check out a chorus, let's jam out, and then this video will be done, pretty much. Thanks for watching. Actually, wait, yeah. Total Dayglow moment. Vocal throw, pedal board feedback.
Right to be the bourgeois.
What that is just taking the echo from the Logic pedal board or whatever and then manipulating the time and the feedback
To be the bourgeois.
in the mix to your liking. And I do that all the time because it sounds awesome. So all together, here's what we've got. Old Friend, New Face. This is one of my favorite songs. I think it's so fun. And dare I say, it is underrated. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something new. And go make some cool music. Go do it. Be free. Go do it with the resources as you wish. I don't know how to end videos, so I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna walk away. Thanks for watching. I don't know why I kissed you.
Be strange, like an old friend.